You're killing me, Smalls.
We making movies, no acting in. I'm fucking Instagram action shit. UPS shipping packages. I'm smoking weed out them packages. If I ain't got a gun, I'm stabbing it. I got some leftover lean in the cabinet. I can hit your little hoe when she happy. Poke on that pussy shit like it's a top in it. We making movies, no acting in. I'm fucking Instagram action shit. UPS doing the packaging. I'm smoking good ass weed out them packages. I can't lie 'cause I ain't capping it.
Welcome back to the DNA podcast. It's your boy D.
And it's your boy Antonio. Let's get to it.
We like to say welcome back to the new year, 2022. I'm glad that you made it. Glad that we made it. And
last episode we talked about about last year, and this year it's gonna have to do with time. And I look forward to all the great times we're gonna spend with each other and with y'all. So speaking of time, we're gonna introduce our topic for today.
It's a time travel episode. Basically, we're just gonna get into a random talk about time travel and the butterfly effects. And yeah, it seems like some shit that random niggas be talking about all the goddamn time.
It seems like a very podcast topic, so but I think it's very interesting and
we don't have a start because it was last minute, but just the concept of, like, when I think about it, I find myself going down a rabbit hole of, I'm like, oh, maybe not. Do you, straight from the jump, do you believe time travel could exist?
I guess in theory, yeah. If anybody knows anything about me, I'm kind of into like nerdy shit, like science and stuff like that. So I have watched some videos and documentaries and stuff, and it's like, oh yeah, well, like based off of like some scientific theories. In theory, it could be a thing. Now, how would you actually make it work?
I believe it can be a thing, but I feel like we're so many steps. Some people just look at it as, oh, you're time traveling. No. First, we need to be able to molecularly break down the body and send it somewhere in real time. Like, that's even just being like from point A to point B.
I don't think you would even have to do that so I think, of course, we would probably figure that out first before we figured out time travel.
Yeah.
But I don't think you would even have to do that per se.
What's your
time travel? Because like how I see it, even if time is like, if you envision time as a straight line, right? And you need it to go back in time, you would just need to put another loop. You would just need to fold the line and cross over, right? You wouldn't necessarily have to break yourself down and then, like, through. You just got to make a tunnel to the other side. Now, if you envision time as a ball of yarn, then it should be a lot more easier to get to point A to point B. Or I guess from B to A.
I think of it, me and you kind of have the same thought process, but I don't look at time travel as a hole in time you go through.
Well, because my thing is like time is always envisioned as time and space, right?
Yeah.
So you would have to be able to fold space to go back in time, in theory.
When I came up with breaking down molecular cells, I thought of it as you breaking yourself down. And so, like, when I said first we got to do it in real time, but then once we do it in real time, well, then you should be able, once you're broken down to the molecular level, which, at that level, we don't know if damn near anything is possible. You should be able to I should be able to transmit that to another point in time.
But when you have to have a somewhere for you to, so like you would have to have that machine back in time.
I think of it like this. I think of wherever I send you to, you're going to be in this same spot, just wherever that time is. I'm sending you back in time, not to a different place.
What I'm saying is, how are you going? If you need a machine to break you apart and put you back together, right? How can you send somebody back? You just be sending back all their pieces. You wouldn't be sending back a complete person.
Hey, the motherfucking Once you perfect the damn sending one person to point A to point B, then we would perfect just sending them to wherever.
I just don't see how it would be possible to move somebody's pieces without moving them. Like moving without having something to put them back together. Because like I can ship all the pieces for a house.
Yeah.
But that bitch is when it arrives, it's still gonna be pieces of a house.
Yeah, that's true. But I don't believe in. I get what you're saying, but I don't believe in something opening up and you going through. I don't believe in that type of time travel.
I think a wormhole would be easier to do than breaking somebody down into pieces.
I guess somebody breaking down into pieces was easier than a wormhole. Because when you do the wormhole, when we watch TV shows, I've always thought of this too. When you do a wormhole, why don't nobody else ever see it in reverse? Because most people think of a wormhole as just your point of view. Mm-hmm. But if you're splitting time like that, somebody else should be able to see it, at least from the other side.
Well, I've seen a couple shows like that where it opens up on the other side and someone falls in it, and then that's the whole concept of the episode.
All right, I'm about to say that makes sense. Like when people do it in a one way, no, because if you're going to split it open.
Also, I've seen it done where like they open up the wormhole, they go in it, and it closes behind them, and then they're traveling through that wormhole, and the other end when they come out, it opens back up. So it's like a pressure wave. If that makes sense. Like it's like a open close.
That's what I don't believe in. I believe when it's open, and once you hop in and it closed.
If you think about it, if you can open up a wormhole, right? If you have the machines and the technology to do it, you should be able to close that bitch behind you.
The closing aspect is not what I got the problem with. Like, I do agree on that, but I don't agree on you opening it, jump in, and it closes behind you, then it opens somewhere else. My thing is once it's open, it's going to be open on the other side. That's the like, it won't just open because you're in there and, you know, when you're ready to pop out, we're cool. Closing it on its own makes sense to me. It's like a door. If one way closes, then it's closed. Like, so I don't completely disagree with you. Just the way that some people have depicted it, I disagree with. But
well, you know,
we both agree that it's possible.
In theory, I guess.
I thought of something also. It comes from a movie, but it's very time traveler-esque. Like if it was to happen, we got a whole name for something that can't be done yet.
Time travel?
Butterfly effect.
A butterfly effect. Okay.
Literally everybody knows what it is. We know what it means.
It's a theory. But yeah.
It can't, but we cannot. It's a theory that most people believe to be true. Because like when you watch movies, whatever, they would be like, bro, have you ever heard of butterfly effect? We do not have definite evidence that should be what we've, what we should follow through on. Don't get me wrong, it's ground. Can't really find flaws in it, but I'm huge. Like my COVID rant, you can't be an expert on something that's never happened yet. It just...
Well, if you actually look into the butterfly effect, it is just a theory. Like it's just like hey, this could maybe happen if we did that.
Yeah.
Like this could be a thing.
And most people took it and ran with
it. Yeah, and it just this is fact.
Yeah. Because I always imagined going back, and of course, my problem with the butterfly effect has always been that things are perfect now. So don't do nothing to mess up whatever, because everything could be different. Is that a bad thing? And it's like, I'm not going to hold you. I don't transcribe to you killed a butterfly here, then such and such ain't see it, and so a big war broke out because it's
So I think when the actual butterfly effect, like what their thing is, like a butterfly flaps its wings and then it grows into a wind, like a strong wind, and then it grows into a tornado or a hurricane or whatever, and it knocks out the eastern seaboard. But I think if you make big enough changes, stuff like that could happen. Like if like say you went and you stopped Kennedy from being assassinated, right? That would functionally change the history of America,
Yeah.
the history of the world.
I do believe that.
So like I think the butterfly effect is more like a hyperbole than a literal, like saying like the butterfly like example is more of a hyperbole than a literal. It could be something that small, but it also could be something that small. You fuck around, you shoot the wrong person or something. Like you go back, you decide I'm gonna join the war in World War II. You shoot, I don't know.
Could go back to World War One and fuck around and hit Hitler.
You hit that nigga, then everything is different.
And I mean, it's always depicted as worse, but on the home front here, I don't see how worse it would be.
I'm just saying, like, you could have got a different dictator to come in there. You could have got some, like, and then, we know Hitler made some bad decisions at the end, right?
Yeah.
You could have got somebody in there who wasn't going to make any bad decisions, and then they end up winning the war.
Yeah, that's a pretty big if.
I'm just saying, like, but the whole, this is all just a theory, so it's all an if.
Oh well, yeah. But I like to look at it as people don't like stuff to change, and so like if I ever had a chance to go back in time, it's over for this slavery shit. The slavery that you know is over. I'm going back with a handful of ARs, and I'm talking just as much as my hands can feel, and me and a plantation gonna get it popping. And I don't give a damn what the change is. It's over for them suckers. And this ain't gonna be no surrender type shit. It's when I see their eyes, it's over for them. shoot when you see the white in their eyes, and we taking over. And any change that comes about it, fuck it, I'm gonna live on the result. There's nothing that you can tell me to make me not do it. Nope. Especially now that we're still putting up with it. Nope. I'm off in them niggas. It's over for them.
That's hard to argue against.
But some people be like, you gotta leave it because it might change the present. So this is good to you. This is
well, I would say we probably would never get hip hop. We probably would never get jazz. We probably won't have some of the food that we eat. We probably won't have, you know what I'm saying? There's some stuff that we won't have, bare minimum.
So I'm not gonna hold you. I feel like we would have that stuff. So let me tell you
It would just be different.
What I would imagine things would happen. I feel like the way America is now, it would just be black people in charge. So we have our dickhead black people that don't represent the majority, but then we have the dumbass minority who's voting for the dickheads thinking that they represent us.
So we become the white people?
Yep. Yeah, exactly. But then we would still have our impoverished people, but we won't be rednecks because we're still black. We're still cool. And like, bro, jazz and country. I mean, yeah, jazz and country music, pretty much the same. But you want to know what make it different? One has soul, and one beat up his wife and ride his cow. I don't. So like, I do see what you mean because of the struggle. That's why we got hip hop and jazz. But there's still gonna be black people struggling. So
I don't know. I think we wouldn't have. Number one, we wouldn't have we wouldn't have the artists that we have now. We wouldn't have, like, I guarantee you wouldn't have a Jay-Z. You wouldn't have a Biggie. You wouldn't have a Tupac. Now they might still be musicians, but they wouldn't be the same artists as we know them now.
Yeah.
Because in theory, because that would completely destroy the social economic status that we have as a race. They'd probably black people would be a little bit better off. So more than likely they wouldn't have grown up in poverty. They wouldn't have to deal with that at the same rates. You know what I'm saying? Of course, anybody could be poor. People, your ancestors make enough bad decisions. You can grow up in a poor family. It can happen.
I swear to God.
But
I think music would be a little bit different. I don't think how we can always have a next rapper up. Like there's plenty of people that can rap. Rap is worldwide, this and that. But I think that still comes from. Let me put it like this: if you can,
it's
you
the
can't
struggle. Yeah.
Yeah. If you not even struggle, like Some people be like, oh yeah, so if it switched, white people would be the rappers. Still,
No.
that still doesn't mean you can rap. like,
Yeah.
like all because
I think they would probably have a rap-esque culture, not like actual hip hop culture, but like a white version of that, or whatever,
yeah.
country music or whatever, and that would be the struggle music of their population.
And your point makes sense, but so like Jay-Z and Biggie wouldn't have been poor, so they wouldn't have had to rap like they do. But I don't believe and that you still can't. So what I mean is, like, I'm gonna take Michael Jackson. If Michael Jackson did not continue singing, that doesn't mean that he can't sing.
No,
if that makes sense.
I said they would still be. They probably still be musicians and.
Oh, you meant them specifically. I thought you meant just black people and like poverty.
No. We would still have music.
Yeah,
of course, because white people still put out music and they tend to be better off.
Yeah.
Like we would still have music. I just don't think it would have. We wouldn't have the same quality of music.
In a way, could be better quality.
I doubt it.
What
makes music good is the struggle.
It could be music that don't glorify killing each other.
Okay, yes, but your favorite album is the first Chief Keef mixtape.
Not of all time, but yeah.
I'm just saying, like that's when you don't talk to me about killing niggas.
I am doing this from a different point of view. Everybody knows I like for my rappers to have stripes. And I'm not just talking about selling drugs. I like for them to shoot at niggas. Everybody knows that. But I imagine a world where Frank Sinatra's New York, New York is Jay-Z's Brooklyn, Brooklyn. Song is different. Different person wrote it. I bet it still be fire though. Be fired up.
I thought you were gonna go with Frank Sinatra's New York and Jay-Z's New York. Featuring. Jeez.
So,
oh man, that's funny.
I do agree on your point that it would be different, but man, fuck it. I ended slavery and put us in powerful position. We can give up a little bit. We can give up a little bit of
I'm just saying. I'm just giving out. This is how it could change. Now, I think it would be changed for the better. I don't think it's a bad idea. Like, I'm not saying no. I'm just saying, let's think about the consequences.
True. And it's like one thing that we won't be so good at is sports. Only because, like, if you dead ass think about it, sports is just a glorified, like,
I think we'd still be good at sports.
I don't think the need for us to be good would be there.
I think we would probably have less. So there'd be less emphasis on getting out of the hood by playing basketball or football or whatever like that. So like I think that wouldn't be as important in our culture.
Yeah.
But we all know athleticism is a genetic thing, and the genetics are just there.
And that's how I've always felt about music. And I do get your point that we won't have the same structure to rap about.
Oh, I'm not saying the music won't be good. I'm just saying it just won't be the same.
Yeah. And for me, it's just like, it's just genetics. If pretty much if you can, you can. If you can't, you can't. And no situation's ever gonna change. I know some poor white people. Niggas can't rap for shit. And so I know poor black people still can't rap for shit. Situation don't make a damn. If you can, you can. If you can't, there's nothing that will ever change that.
I think the situation just makes your story more interesting, if that makes sense. Mm-hmm. Because there's plenty of niggas who are talented, but like, what the fuck you sing? What the fuck you rapping about? What are you singing about?
Ain't talented enough, goddamn it. Like, I know exactly what you mean. It's like they're not from the hood, but you better talk about that fucking 90210, goddamn it. I don't know what the hell you be doing.
There's definitely a way to make it, and but I'm saying like all the artists that we really like, rappers especially, all the artists that we like really fuck with are people who are telling a story that's like,
I don't know the flip side of not poor rapping because it don't connect with me, so I don't listen to it. I like to think of it as like Jaden Smith. I'm not listening to that.
Smith.
I'm not listening to that.
He's actually not that bad of a rapper. It's just he ain't talking about nothing for us.
And that's like, so like I listen to hood music because I grew up in the hood, so it just really, but like I listen to Jay Smith, like it ain't bad, but I'm not listening to this bullshit. He's talking about being 14 problems of I don't know, like $1 million problems, bro. I can probably be 84 and I have $1 million problems.
That's what I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. You also got to think, a lot of people, you might not be born. So you might just delete yourself and you just it just is what it is now.
This is a weird thing and a paradox. Well, it's a paradox. And I've seen it in TV shows. I don't believe, and this is going to sound funny, I don't believe in going back to the past and changing the past to where you weren't there. Because like,
I mean, if you end up getting your ancestor killed, right?
True.
Then, or even if your ancestors can make it, everybody who needs to be there can be there, right?
Yeah.
But if think everything, and you think this is a simulation anyway, so everything has to play out a certain way for your mom and your dad to meet at that place, or to be even live in the same neighborhood, or whatever, go to the same high school, college,
yeah,
and then
the paradox
being
comes
born.
in for, like, I'm not disagreeing with what you said. It makes complete sense. Can't really find a hole. But the paradox comes in that instead, like, I go back and change something and it stops me from existing. We would just reset to how it was. I would just exist anyway.
No.
Because I'm the guy that made the change. If I do something to change,
No. Because what I'm saying is, when you go back in time, you'd be making a branch.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
And if...
So we're doing something different. You believe in different...
I'm saying, now there's two different outcomes. Is the one that you came back and the one that you didn't.
So you believe in multiverses.
You would make a multiverse.
Just
by you coming back.
Just making sure.
So, if you do something that makes you not be born... Well, number one, if you go back and change something, you kind of already destroyed the original timeline. Now, it still exists in theory, but it is not there anymore. It's no longer accessible to you.
I love comic books, so I support multiverse, but I don't believe in multiverse. I just don't. I don't transcribe to the original timeline is wherever the fuck the outcome. If something changes and Hitler wins the war, that's the new original timeline. I don't believe that there's a parallel between us and that. No, the original is just what it is. Now, I'm not going to shit on the, like, if there is a multiverse, I do get it. And, like, the best way I can explain is Dragon Ball Z with Trunks. And, like, that makes sense. But for me, and that's why I was saying, don't believe in multiverse. I believe that would create the paradox of, if I do something to get rid of...
Technically, the Trunks idea actually supports yours, because he goes back, he changes it, and he can't go back to his old timeline. He can't go back into the future.
I guess that do kind of work.
Well, I think it's because his time machine broke, but still, like, that kind of more supports yours, because now he's stuck in this one.
That's true. I was about to say they were Jerry, and this is why I was like, so for me, just the way I think of it, the reason why I can't be gone, and so like this is why I don't believe in the multiverse. If I do something to be gone, I can't affect the change, so it would just reset.
But you could. My thing, okay. So if I'm saying if you change something,
yep,
and you no longer exist in the timeline, right? You would never be born.
Yep.
Then you would just fade out of existence.
Yeah, I don't believe that they can. I don't believe you could just fade from existence.
I'm saying if you never happened, you never happened.
And I believe it would just reset back. That's what, because like,
or maybe you're fading out of existence is going back to the original timeline.
Maybe so, because that's what I'm saying. Like, so say like, I stab somebody, and it makes me go away. Mm-hmm. But if I go away, it would take away me stabbing them, and we would just go back to before I even did it. Like, I won't be gone because I already exist. If that makes sense, I cannot not exist because I do exist. That's how I look at it. So maybe I can do stuff pretty much to cancel out stuff, but I can't I can't.
Okay, but what I'm saying is like, if you go back, right,
Yep.
and you kill a whole bunch of people,
Yep.
we do the slave revolt idea,
Yep.
right? So a whole bunch of white people aren't going to be born.
Yep.
Don't you see how that's a flaw in your story?
How the hell does that affect me? I ain't 1/8 white.
But you probably are. Massa probably out that fence. Give it a buck.
Jesus, I need to do my ancestry.com.
I'm just letting you know. Most African Americans got at least like 10%.
Jesus. Man, just add more 10% dark to that. Just add some chocolate to that milk. We'd be straight.
I'm just saying. It could that could really fuck you up.
So for me on the back end, and this that weird paradox thing, I feel like it's already happening. I feel like it's happening in an infinite loop. Like everything that we're saying, it just always meant to happen. And maybe that frees into more of my simulation thing. I'm forever stuck committing the same treason, getting born, and going in the same loop. I'm doing it over and over
So
again.
maybe when you go back in time and you delete yourself, you enter into a loop.
Maybe that. And maybe not doing
But-
the stuff that really fucks me up now, because it said like I don't go back in time when I'm supposed to. Well, shit, I can't do the shit that set forward all the motions for me to be like. That's that weird. That's the paradox that we're in. If I was supposed to go back in time and do the stuff and don't, that's just as bad as not changing the past.
Well, I think if you don't go back and change the past, you're still gonna be on the same trajectory that you were when you were born. If that makes sense. You know what I'm saying? So like, I think by you not going back in time, you'll still be okay. You know what I'm saying? Nothing drastic was ever going to change. Because you could always still go back in time in the future.
Could be, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, there's no cutoff until you die.
Yeah.
So, in theory, I don't think there's a problem with you not going back in time. Now, unless you're in an infinite loop, and you choose to try to break that loop, then yes.
And that's also another weird thing of, I said you just can't vanish, but say like I'm supposed to go back in time and do the stuff and I don't. Do I vanish then?
Maybe.
Or do I just live to old age and that's just...
Yeah, maybe it's that.
Yeah.
Maybe you just live to old age.
Maybe the cycle just breaks and I just... Huh? Well, I guess there is the two. My life's supposed to be on a loop, and therefore I never really... My old age is before I'm born. You know, old age and die. Mm-hmm. But if I break the cycle, I live to see old age, a.k.a. like 2088. You know, something like that. But, yeah. Now, it could be a multiverse thing, but the reason... And this is why the multiverse has legs. This is why it also doesn't do it for me, because, like, back on that loop thing, you could create so many multiverses off of one choice. That's just like...
That's why it's dangerous to go back in time.
I guess that's so, but yeah, one choice creating so many different stuff. That's a lot. That is a lot.
Like, as I was saying, like you could throw, like, you know what I'm saying, we play basketball, right? We both play basketball. And you know, sometimes just how the wind can gust one way and the ball hit this side of the rim, it could go in.
Yeah.
Or it can spin around and then go in. Or it can, you know what I'm saying? So you throw a grenade or something, right? The wind blows hard. You kill 20 people on this side, instead of 20 people on that side. The 10 people on that side end up becoming dictators or some shit like that. And there was no way for you to know that was going to happen.
True.
You know what I'm saying? So, like, or you could have went to this side and only 2 became dictators, but they were way worse than those 10. Or you could have just not thrown it at all, and they could have killed themselves.
You're saying a lot to me, and it's for the fact that I never once thought of multiverse. Weird. Once again, that I watch anime that does it, and I read comics, but I just never actually thought of it as being a real thing. But
I mean, as far as we know, there's a time travel, so there is no multiverse.
True.
In theory.
Yeah, without time travel, this
It's
doesn't...
just one linear line right now.
Yeah.
But you know, some aliens could have went back in time already, and this is why we're here. You know,
Yeah.
who fucking knows? But
So do you believe in going back and changing stuff or not? Because so say like you end up in a different multiverse that's complete hell. Would you not fix it, or would you just leave it as
I would
be?
You would have to go back and stop yourself from doing that and change something else.
No, not even that. Just like say like you just went to a different multiverse. Like so
Now we're doing Rick and Morty.
Yeah.
And we open up a portal and we're in a different universe.
say like you tried to time travel, but it's not time traveling. It's just a different multiverse.
And now we're fighting evil Morty.
Maybe so, yeah.
Okay.
Like we're on Earth, but like you could tell. I don't know how you would tell. Let's say like something is happening.
All the grass is blue instead of green.
Yeah, but like it's utter hell.
Okay.
And you can change it, or you could just leave it. Would you leave it? Would you change it? Do you believe in changing it, or you're just fuck it, bro? They just got to do it themselves. I'm out.
Do I feel like being a hero, or do I not feel like being a hero?
I mean,
this is the question.
How about
That's
that
what
falls on you? Yeah, that falls because to your point.
So like, am I going to go back? So I go to a different multiverse, right?
Yeah.
So I go to a different universe, and I'm able to travel in time in that universe, so I can go back and keep that shit from happening, or can I just join the resistance or something like that? What's my options here?
Let's say you can join the resistance and help, or you can just leave and go back. Help.
If I'm stuck there,
Does being stuck there make a difference for you?
if I'm stuck there, I gotta make this shit better for me.
Or so let's say you're not stuck there. Like just give you free reign.
I'm piecing out that bitch.
Just make it short.
Like, hey, Universe 332, fuck. Don't go to that one.
Because like to your point of you don't want to change it. Because if you do help, you're going with your principle of you're making another multiverse. If you do help, but you did so in the right cause, so maybe the payoff is worth it.
So my thing is, if I have to live in that universe, right? So the idea of me going back and changing the slavery thing is it's going to change my universe as I see it. Even though I'm in my theory, I'm making two separates, but I'm making my own universe the way I want it to be. Because I'm making new universe 1 basically, and that's gonna be universe 2 now. If I'm going into universe 332. And they have evil robots, it's Terminator in that bitch, then I have no reason to change it because it's not really. I don't have any connection to that universe.
Yeah. I only ask just because some people try to be heroes and just.
Yeah, I'm not that guy. You're not that guy, pal.
It depends on how I'm feeling that day. I wouldn't do it for the sake of being a hero. It's the sake of I can fuck shit up and it has no meaning to me.
No, if I'm stuck there, like my time machine is broken, well, I might as well fix this bitch while I'm here. At least try.
Oh, for facts.
Yeah, like if I'm stuck here, fuck it.
If I'm stuck, I really don't know what the fuck I'm doing. I know I'm trying to fix my shit, but maybe I'm gonna try to just lay super low. My fucking live in the sewers or some shit, bro. I'm not joining nothing. Huh? The second this bitch is up and running, I'm out of here.
So I think we haven't thought about the Terminator aspect of this. So like, in Terminator, I haven't watched the newest one, so I think in that one it's actually real time travel, and their time travel actually affects shit. But in Terminator 1, 2, and 3, even though they sent back the Terminators into the past and a human or whatever each time, nothing really changed because it was still the same outcome each time. It's like Terminator 1, they sent back the Terminator, right?
Yeah.
You're supposed to kill Sarah Connor. He didn't kill her. And the idea was that if you didn't kill Sarah Connor, you would have I can't remember the boy's name now. John Connor, right?
John Connor.
Yeah. You would have him to be the resistance leader. So that didn't change. And then the second one, they were trying to keep the black guy from inventing Skynet.
But he ended up doing that.
Well, he had already invented it, but they blew it up. But there's still Skynet in number 3.
Yeah.
In Salvation.
Yeah.
So maybe even if you went back and changed shit, the universe just writes itself. Because it's kind of like it's meant to be.
Yeah. That's something way out of my control, which I guess no BS. This isn't joke. I guess that would fucking all but convince me that it's a simulation. Because if there's nothing you could actually do, and we're talking about you're actually going back in time, trying to stop it, but nothing has an effect on the outcome. And I'm not saying from I don't think of it as a robot and people can, but I guess it's simulated. There's nothing you can do because isn't free will? You have for free will to happen, you have to have that you should be able to change on the dot. Something came back in time, the Terminator, to do X, Y, and Z, but it didn't. It came back in time and it still happened the way that it didn't want it to happen. So it's simulated. It's the end result is guaranteed.
I think. Well, I guess there's 2 options here. Either there's a higher power, like a god.
Yeah.
Or it's a simulation. That's your 2 options.
Yeah.
Because or it's Loki. You haven't watched it yet.
No, not yet. I'm binge watching soon enough. You could talk about it. I've seen
it's like in Loki, there's the TVA, and that keeps the timeline consistent. So it's a governing body.
Yeah,
that keeps the timeline consistent. So
there's this South Park episode. Good episodes. I haven't watched South Park in years. When my boss showed it to me at work, and so it's like a COVID special, and so
I haven't watched it yet, but I've
bro,
seen some clips.
It's funny as hell. But so the end result is spoiler, Stan's dad started COVID. And so Kenny made a time machine to try to stop COVID from happening. But there's no universe. Stan's dad got COVID from fucking a penguin. And the end result was that there was nothing that can be done to stop him from fucking in every conceivable outcome. He fucks that penguin. And COVID is born. So the end of the episode is we can't stop it from happening, but we can change how we react to it. But maybe it is something that's literally
maybe there's certain things in time that are set in stone.
Yeah, I was about to say literally
you can change what happens in between, but there's certain things that have to happen.
And the way they react to it, because it's a COVID special, so it was they reacted at first the way that we did. I bought up all the toilet paper, this and that. But their fix was they pretty much got everybody high to mellow out and just accept the situation. So instead of going overboard and doing all the extra stuff, they were just chill and calm. So it was that wasn't even I guess it was a huge change on a grand scale of things. But on individual level, you just didn't flip the fuck out. You just didn't jump to conclusions you just mellowed out. But that is the same thing with the Terminators. There's nothing can be done to stop them from fucking that penguin. There's nothing that can be done from the start at Terminator 1 to stop Skynet. We don't even know what Skynet is in Terminator 1, but there's nothing that can be done.
They give an explanation, but it's not we don't fully know what Skynet. We don't know it's an AI.
Yeah.
We just know it's I guess we do kind of know it's AI. We just don't know it by that name.
Yeah.
I guess because we were looking back at it from 2021.
True.
But
the main gimmick of the first movie was that the damn robot came back. It wasn't supposed to be grounded in anything. Bro, is it not good enough that the robot came back from it's Arnold Schwarzenegger. What more do y'all motherfuckers?
What the fuck do you want?
Y'all want story too?
A fun fact: Terminator was originally cast as it was a black guy. Now I'm blanking on his name, but for sure Terminator was almost a black guy.
That would have been cool.
Yeah, it was. I think Arnold Schwarzenegger is the better choice because he's already so robotic and you know.
Me and you was gonna say the same thing. You said it in such a nice way. Niggas' English is so broken. He sounds like a robot. Yup, that's what I was gonna say exactly. He sounds like a robot. Come with me. Yeah. If you want to live, it's so bad that it works. It's perfect.
Yeah, it just works.
It's utterly bad. That's why he's flopped in other roles. One was like, oh, so you weren't talking like a robot. That's just how you talk.
Yeah.
Like, you can't be back then, they just wanted niggas to be big and strong. You can't be in Die Hard talking like that.
I think it was either Wilt Chamberlain or it was somebody that was like popular back then. It would have made sense if they were the Terminator. I think Arnold was the right choice.
Yeah.
But I think the black guy just turned down the role. It wasn't like he didn't get it.
I know he's sick. I know he's sick.
Yeah.
But bro, I've never thought of that, what you said. Man, that would make time travel trash. Mm-hmm. It would give me no reason if I knew that everything happened. What the fuck? I'm wasting my time going back in the past. I'm
so if you could always go back in the past and make bets on Super Bowl games or whatever, right?
Yeah.
Because you're not changing the Super Bowl itself. You're just making a little money on the side.
I'm just taking the money from the rich motherfuckers.
So you're just making some money on the side. Because that won't really affect life, right?
Yeah.
But I think probably like in my head, I think changing big things like changing slavery, right? That would fundamentally change history forever.
All of everything. Yeah.
Everything. Like, you could free 1 or 2 slaves. You could be Harriet Tubman.
Yeah. I would be the first one to create ARs. Even though I don't know how to create the shit, but I'll be the first known person with it in history.
You would have an idea, and you can find somebody to figure that out. But I think that would fundamentally change history too, because that would accelerate warfare way faster.
Faster. So yeah.
So that might be a bad thing. If it was a simulation or high power, they might be no.
Don't let me be the person to talk about military issues. But I think we reached the peak of military weaponry. Like, bro,
no, not at all.
I know things can get worse, but we have nukes at this point. If niggas,
so like in the world, yes.
I was about to say, if niggas really wanted to end it all, if that's truly what any op was thinking, bro, it can be done. Like, we just don't.
The reason why no country is going to nuke another country is because it's mutually. Everybody knows if I nuke them,
it's over.
Either their friends are going to nuke me, or they're going to nuke me.
Yeah, that's why I was like, I'd say we reached the peak. So even if I accelerated warfare per se, bro, we're just gonna have bigger weapons that we're not going to use on the same basis of. I
think a lot. So, I think. So number one, we all know that the more you we know that technology advances with warfare. Mm-hmm. A lot of the things that we have as luxury items now were invented because they needed them for war, and then they were adapted for consumer markets.
Not even just luxury items; literally all war items came in a war.
Yeah, I'm saying. I'm just saying, like, I was saying, like, luxury, like, I'm pretty sure the microwave was was invented for like war. I'm pretty sure they were studying radio waves and then ended up making microwaves, and then it ended up being a thing.
Yeah,
I think they were studying radar, if I remember correctly.
It's a bunch of stuff. If this was high school, I could have a list for you. It's a bunch of stuff. It could be shit that we're looking at right now. I just can't. It's just not dawning on me right now. But yeah, I gotta get your point.
So like, maybe we wouldn't have some of that stuff because if you go ahead and skip some steps in the development, we go straight to nukes, right? You know what I'm saying? We would have nuclear power, but will we have? It might take us longer to discover some other things, if that makes sense. Because yes, I guess you could come up with all these ideas and you could just be the next fucking Edison or whatever. But
Edison, that nigga won't have nothing on me. They might think I'm actually God. They might actually think I'm on some whole other level type shit.
Well, honestly, how humans work, they probably would just call you a fucking lunatic and put you in a loony bin.
Bro, I have them choppers on deck. They ain't got nothing. What you gonna do? Who you locking up? We got something for y'all's asses too.
I'm just saying.
I got clips you'll never see, like unreleased footage. I'm proud of it. But
You come up with that top of your head, or was that something you heard before?
it's a mix of I remixed it off of something I heard like 10 years ago.
that was off the dome, bro.
But I don't think things will be created in the order that it did now. But I believe that everything will still get created.
Eventually, yeah.
Yeah. Maybe the microwave get created out of not war, but just, we have the technology to heat up food. Because steps were skipped, we can actually do luxury stuff. But the reason, I'm just letting them know, the reason why war accelerates technological growth is because all the top technological stuff is with the military to win the war. And so, if we just have that lying around, in quotes, they're going to figure out.
And it's really not just like war per se, is funding. Because if you just gave the funding to a scientist, like you were just willing to give funding to scientists, right? And it was you just wanted to invent new shit, right?
Yeah.
And you didn't want to build weapons, you just wanted to invent new shit. You would get all this shit. People was like, microwaves exist in nature, right? Like they come from space, they come from stars. We would have discovered them eventually. But if you had just gave that money to a scientist who was working on radio waves or whatever, they would have found that,
and probably would have did it in less time. Yeah, because that's what
I think it would have been longer, probably, because war times tends to accelerate shit, because it's like, we need to find that shit now.
You on a deadline. You don't have 6 months. We might lose.
Figure some shit out.
We might lose in 6 months. You better. I'll give you 6 days. This is a huge one, and we probably discussed it, but it still pisses me off. It's a huge changes. I'm gonna tell you this. Take away the fact that we know why they did it from a cast point of view. It pisses me off what Captain America did in the Avengers. Because, so I told you a paradox, but that creates the ultimate paradox. Because and I know we talked about it, but there's always 2 Caps. That's the biggest fucking pool ever. So there's literally, not only is there always 2 Caps, they're always roughly the same age. Like that's what's the killer to me. There's always...
He wouldn't be the same age.
Because when he's frozen, he's one age, and when he goes back, he's older.
Yeah. So he would be way older. Because
wouldn't he only be 10 years older? Well, no, because he don't get frozen until.
Yeah. So when he froze, his biological clock completely stopped. He didn't get any older, any younger. So he came out the axe, he was still 25, in theory.
Holy shit! So I didn't think of it like that. That goes into my you can never be erased.
He was older, yes, because years have gone by, but his body itself did not age.
Yeah.
But when he went back in time, he experienced all those years up into the present when they found him on the bench.
Yeah.
So yes, he cannot. I don't know, when did he come out the ice? Like in 2012 or something like that?
So I'm going to be honest
with
you.
I'm saying from 19... the war ended in 1950.
50? Yeah, let's say 50. Let's say 54.
1954 to 2012. He still lived all those years. So his body aged for those years. Now he aged less because he's a superhero, a super soldier. But he still aged for all those years.
And it makes sense, and we did discuss it and dig over my head, but it's he's actually, it's funny because he's actually living while his body's on ice, pun intended. And it's just like,
But if you watched if when you watch Loki, you find out because they talk about the Avengers went back in time. Why you didn't get on them for that? And they said that was supposed to happen.
the Avengers going back or Captain America going back again?
Avengers, the Captain America, all that was supposed to happen.
Oh,
That's set in stone.
so it's oh, so I guess in their timeline, it's literally just, I guess it's simulation. I guess it's how, because if you think of Captain,
in their timeline, it's not really a simulation. It's just there's somebody who's keeping the timeline the way he wants to keep the timeline. There's a higher power keeping the timeline where it's supposed to be.
This is the trap door in a simulation, and it is a cop out. But it's like, so even if you think of The Sims, which is simulated, that's where this comes from. Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's somebody guiding everybody.
Yeah, you're God.
So
you play God in The Sims.
So with that higher power,
Kinda.
he's and only from Captain America's point of view, because Captain America's always destined to go train, get the serum, fight Red Skull, end up frozen, then go back in time and live life.
Not even just Captain America's point of view, everybody's point of view.
True, but it's easy just right now.
From him, yes.
Yeah. And so he goes back in time and lives life while he's frozen just to do it, just for that unfrozen body to go back in time and then live his life.
That's a loop.
While it's a...
Well, it's a loop-de-loop.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. Because it's a way out. He dies.
Yeah.
But it's a loop. Yeah.
And it's just like, damn, it's a never-ending circle.
Not really. It ends because he dies.
The circle of the Cap's just
it's
doing the same thing. Yeah.
How I see it is like a roller coaster.
Yeah.
And it's like the loop-de-loops on a roller coaster. Like they cross over because there's two Caps existing at one point.
Yeah.
And then they run along with each other for a while, and then eventually they split off. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
Because then one dies. So it's just like he just got an extra 50 years on his lifespan that wasn't there.
That's the one part where me and you differ off that. It's not that he got extra 50 years. That he got years of not doing shit.
Well, I'm saying
that's what he got.
I'm saying he got an extra 50 years because he was in the ice.
Oh, that's what you mean.
Yeah, he was in the ice.
I was about to say, I thought you meant when he went back to go live with Peggy.
No,
that nigga just didn't want to do. He just got tired of being a hero and he could have been with the Avengers all this time.
I kind of get it though. I'm not gonna like. I still think it's wrong that he didn't help some shit out. But I kind of get why he would just live his life.
This isn't a Marvel thing, but that's fundamentally what I don't like about Captain America and Superman. But like, they live by such honor that when they diverge from it, it's kind of weird to try to do that same honorable thing. Because like Captain America always does what it takes, die for the cause, and cool. So I think it's kind of bullshit that you didn't help out before, such and such. But cool, you live by a higher code and you're being honorable.
I think, but they also told him if he went back and changed shit, it would be a problem. So he just didn't go back and change shit. I think that's why if you had to have a reason, that's his reason. I'm not saying it's a good reason.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, because that was a thing that they learned from, what's her name?
The bald one?
Yeah.
I never knew her name, but I know
it's
the one that Hulk talked to.
Oh, God. Fuck.
C-level characters I'm not good with. I'm just going, if they not the main.
Sorcerer Supreme, that's what she was.
Yep.
When they went back and talked to her, Hulk found out, hey, if you go back and change shit, dog, you make a whole bunch of branches. So if you went back and changed it, he made a whole bunch of branches.
And being honorable,
then the TVA would have came and got him up.
And so that's why I was like, being honorable is kind of weird, because it's like, oh, so yeah, I'm gonna be honorable and not change nothing. I'm gonna go live life with Peggy. I do not care from any metrics. That's not honorable. I get why he did it. But the honorable path, he's diverging from it when it's convenient for him. And then he hops. If he was just honorable if it was just like a straight through, oh, I did this and that, cool, bro.
But you also gotta think, like, he's been fighting for so long.
Them niggas still fighting. This nigga still. Peter Parker is fucking 14 when he started. He's either gonna die doing no, he's gonna die regardless doing
okay,
this.
well, all I'm saying is he already lost life. He already had to watch the love of his life die, right? And he's been fighting all this time. He had to watch all his friends die. He's tired of it.
We all tired, goddammit.
I'm just saying I get it. I'm just saying I get it.
And this is once again it's not an Avengers thing, but this is when it goes to your point of not wanting to switch stuff. The reason why I have no problem switching anything is because if you live by that straightforward of we're not changing anything, there's under no circumstance you should. And I mean it like this. If your philosophy is you're not going to change the past, if that was what they believed in, bro, Thanos snapped them away. It sucks. It is god awful.
Well, they were changing the future. They weren't changing the past.
But they went back to the past to change.
They put everything back that was supposed to be there.
But it already made the branch timelines. They've already
No. So once they put the stuff back, those timelines stop existing.
Really?
Yeah.
I thought they were forever there. I thought
they put the Tesseract back. They put Thor's actual hammer back. They put everything back. All the Infinity Stones they took, they put back.
Man, that makes that bald lady speech less impactful to me.
No, the speech was, "Hey, you can do this, but y'all have to put this shit back."
So I do get that, but man, that's time traveling 101. So for me, I thought her speech was, "Doing it will forever alter it, but be sure to put it back because you don't want it altered."
What she was saying was, "Doing this will forever alter it unless you put it back. So make sure y'all do this shit right."
Oh. And
it was more of a warning than a ultimatum.
I would have liked to
because if she didn't want them to do it, she would never give them the time stone.
And that's where I was about to get in. When you live by this philosophy, the way I thought of it, she died. She was so gung ho about not switching it, but because it worked in your favor of Thanos snapping people away, that's not right. So I'll let y'all fuck up a little bit for the name of this. When we get a little murky, if you're gonna do it, do it. Don't give me a rule about I don't want to switch nothing. You do want to switch something. Just be upfront about it.
No. Because that part of the history wasn't written yet. Sure.
And what you're saying makes sense. That to me, I thought there was always going to be branching timelines, and that's where I thought the multiverse really started. Mm-hmm. And this is where not spoil it because I know you haven't seen it, but that's where it goes into a Spider-Man, even like the new movie, they're even more responsible. Mm-hmm. Y'all do it again. Y'all alter space and time because it's convenient for y'all's cause. But before, under any other guys, don't do it. It's not right. It's against the code. But when it fits what you want, you do. I'm not
the writers.
And I'm not mad at when people do it. I'm just mad at the hypocrisy. I told you what I'm gonna do. If I ever go back in time, I'm switching. Like take away the slavery part. I'm altering shit regardless. I'm not bound by this so-called honor of not doing something.
Well, it's not really the honor. Is that you can cause the universe to fall apart. And the only reason why there's even a Spider-Verse right now, that there's an alternate reality for that to happen in the new Spider-Man movie.
Yeah.
Spoilers. Is because Loki ends up making a multiverse. At the end of Loki, well, not him himself, but a Loki ends up making a multiverse.
I get what you're saying, and this is
so now there's a branches for the other Spider villains and Spider-Man can jump into.
For the fact of that movie, and this is a little where I'm gonna end it at, just so it's not getting into too much more. It's just the fact of the events that they took, and there are different branches. For one, they had to be there, but they do more stuff for it to affect their world. When last I checked, we weren't doing no more time and space altering things. After we put everything, after we're done with these Infinity Stones, this and that, we are done. There's no more altering.
They weren't supposed to. They broke the rules.
And that's why it's just like, and there's a new Doctor Strange movie out, and he's getting punished for, which I am, at least there's some follow-up for the nigga breaking the rules.
Breaking the rules.
But yeah, that's where it's just like, anybody you ask, Like, oh yeah, bro, if I go back in time, I'm not doing this and that. Bro, you're doing it. Say, save that high and mighty crap for somebody else. If you go to a club and see a bad joint, you're probably gonna smash, which you shouldn't have because it's altering the thing. Oh, but she was bad. Man,
That was your grandma.
yeah, you can go ahead and miss me with that. You can go ahead and everybody would change something.
That was Grandma Ethel right there. You done. Now you're your own grandpappy. Think about that.
And bro, you described Futurama, literally. And the professor was kind of as smart as they tried to make the professor, which I always got to remember, they can make a genius, but they can still only be as smart as that time period allows them to be. The professor was still stumped of, it is an infinite loop. Fry has to birth his own self. Fry has to be his own grandfather for him to continue to exist.
For
him to continue to exist,
yeah,
he has to be his own grandfather. Well, I guess sperm kind of works like that. I guess. And I mean, technically, he's not making himself; he's making his dad.
In Futurama, there's no repercussions
Sure,
to traveling in time.
Yeah.
Really, there's like stuff will change, but there's never any like really bad outcomes.
Yeah, there they actually disappear. So like,
I guess so.
I
Yeah.
was about to say, like, if you do something and they actually end up not existing, they disappear. But that's why the professor was so shook when, like, when Fry killed his own grandfather. It was like, but you're still here. If that's your grandfather, then, but he ends up sleeping with his grandmother and the plot motion, and the professor got sick of it. The way I get sick, you know what? Fuck it. And that's back when they needed the fucking radio tower, but to take it would have left a huge hole in the city. Fuck it. I'm tired of all this shit. They took that. They took Zoidberg out of fucking Area 51. like, bro, fuck. I don't care what changes. And they went back. That's where I'm at with it, bro. We walking on eggshells. Fuck it. I will try not to do anything drastic. But if it happens, it happens, bro. If I get transported back and it's not like I go out to eat at night and somebody tries to smoke me, I'm not going to kill him. You try to smoke me?
So, there's a theory on Reddit that I saw on TikTok, but whatever. So you know how World War I, everybody thinks Franz Ferdinand, him being assassinated, was the reason why World War I kicked off, right?
Well, something else, but yeah.
Well, there's other reasons, but that was like the
boiling point.
Yeah, that was, they set everything off.
Yeah.
So in that moment, someone throws a grenade, right, and the car stops working. So the grenade blows up, and no one dies.
Damn.
And then Franz Ferdinand gets shot in the head. So the theory is that the original timeline was that the grenade gets blown, it blows up the car. And then we have World War I. Someone goes back in time, makes the car stop working. The grenade blows up, no one dies.
Because the car stopped probably like
It stopped
8 meters, in
yeah.
front of the grenade.
And no one, Franz Ferdinand doesn't die. And then something really bad happens. So the time traveler goes back in time again, shoots him to set the time going again.
Yeah.
So he had to die.
Makes complete sense
So
to
it's
me.
like the outcome of what he did was not what you wanted.
And I believe that's always my ace in the sleeve. Say like I do have full control. I'm just going to stop my dumbass, or even if I don't interfere with myself doing, because say like I steal something and that changes it. Well, fuck, I'm just going to replace it. I'm just going to, even if I make it in my timeline now, and just, we're good. I'm going back. In a more modern example, I'm reaching with this, but the Tory Lanez and Meg situation, we seen the video of her foot. Something engraved that motherfucker. They can't find no bullet casings whatsoever from it. She can't produce it to the court. What the fuck hit her? Somebody must have shot that bitch and went back and got that motherfucker from.
We need Tory.
Even balder Tory came back to help balding Tory.
Not 1980s Tory coming back.
And so I'm reaching with that, but it's fucking wild. Like, bro, we seen her foot. Something grazed the girl's foot.
Happened.
How the fuck don't y'all have the shells? Shouldn't the police? They said Meg has to provide. Don't the police take that?
Well, if the police can't find the evidence, it's on Meg to be like, hey, this happened.
And it's just like, if that don't come up, what the fuck grazed your foot then? Like,
that's a good point. I'm just saying, if Meg says she got shot, right?
Yep. And like we seen pictures, like nobody's denying that
she got
something
hurt.
Didn't happen. Yeah, something didn't happen.
If Meg says she got shot, and the police cannot prove, like they can't find shells, there's no bullet lodged in her, they can't find anything like that. It's kind of on her to prove that she got shot, because I guess it's a police job, but like if they don't have any evidence, they don't have any evidence.
Niggas is abusing their time traveling. Bro, you could do so much shit and you stopping Tori from going to jail.
Hey, maybe Tori saves the world one day. Who fucking knows?
I mean, I'm not going to knock anybody's favorite rapper, so I mean...
Maybe his music keeps somebody from blowing up the world or some shit.
But this is my last thought on it. And I've always thought something weird. Bro, you've been around me, and you know the stuff that happens to me is kind of comical. I kind of have stupid luck. Even when it's bad, it's just funny. Mm-hmm. Sometimes I just think, if I'm going back in time and stopping something, like I'm just doing stuff just before to where I can't tell that it changed. So say like, I picked up $5. Man, I dropped that bitch for you. I knew you were a broke nigga. But I would never know that. I would never know that a nigga time traveled to do that shit. He's just doing the smallest shits to help me in weird comical situations.
That's funny.
And there's no way to actually disprove something stupid. Well, of course, like a webcam could pick a surveillance camera could show the $5. But I feel like that's something
you could just wear a hood or a hoodie and then no one would know it was you.
I feel like that's something I would do for myself. I'm not doing nothing drastic. I'm just doing small stuff that anybody could do. Mm-hmm. And I'm just so happening to do it for the beneficiary of myself.
I don't see nothing wrong with that.
Because sometimes I was like, damn, this bitch was meant to be. Like, I ain't thinking too hard on it. Luck is luck.
Yeah, I mean, that would work. I don't see anything that I think if you try and time travel like that, it wouldn't be bad for you.
I was about to say just small stuff. We're like, damn, I know one night that I'm starved. I go back. Damn, the nigga left a pizza. Whoever it is, I don't know who it was, but you my nigga. I think small stuff like that, just because, like, if time traveling do happen, bro, somebody's abusing it somewhere. I swear to God, whoever creates it is abusing the hell out of it.
Oh, for sure. I abuse the fuck out of it.
Yeah, bro.
I'm just gonna make myself. This is gonna sound really bad. I'm just gonna make myself really fucking rich. I'm gonna go back in time, set up a trust fund or some shit, buy a whole bunch of Google and Tesla stock, and just ride that bitch out.
For facts.
And then just pay. And then it would have already sat in there for 50-something years, so I can pull that out with no taxes.
I like to do what I do, and I'm gonna impact my friend's life. So it's like I'm probably gonna do the same shit like 100 times until the desirable outcome comes. So it's like, oh yeah, I want to support Antonio doing this and that. When broke doing that, when broke doing that, when broke doing that. Do it again. We're going to do it again differently until we get the desired outcome.
One more theory, and then we're done. We'll call this one a close. All right, so what if when you time travel, right, you don't physically time travel, your conscious time travels. So like,
where would your conscious go?
Into your body. So you can only go back as far as you've lived and as far forward as you lived.
That would be lit as hell.
So like, if you could just go back, if I could, you know what I'm saying? If I could just go back and have all the experiences of now, I could go back as a kid. Now, you do have to live through the sucky shit again, But now you're mentally prepared for the sucky shit. Or maybe you can avoid the sucky shit.
Yeah.
So
that's on such a deeper level, and it's weird that we broke down going through a wormhole, being broken down into the tiniest matter, but getting your conscience sent back, whole nother level for me. That, and it's only this is no business. It's only scary for me in that thought, bro. Once I go in, do I push the other conscience out?
Oh yeah,
or do I take complete control?
Stops living.
That's just,
in my head, that no longer exists. It is now you. You have the new save file. You skip some steps, my guy.
It's a new save file. This is save file 2, and I deleted 1. Like,
this is now Pokemon, and you just there a new game, bro.
a soul for a soul, isn't it? It's equivalent exchange. That's the only thing I thought. Like, wait, there's already one in the vessel. It's gonna get pushed to you.
Sorry, my guy. You'll thank me later.
If that's what it is, damn, I hope we're far away from that.
I mean, that wouldn't be that bad. I mean, I guess you can still change a lot of shit, but...
And I guess if we're the conscious that thinks that we already made it far enough to not be the conscious that got knocked out.
Get chicken. But your other conscious could come back and change and take yours.
Bro, I've never thought of it like that.
Oh, man, it is just a rabbit hole. Now, I don't know why they wouldn't go back far enough to, like...
Yeah, bro, that fucks me up.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, right?
Shit, I ain't got nothing more else to say. I'm just gonna think on that. Let it marinate.
Broken with that one.
We signing out. You could be watching this in 2022. I could have recorded this in 2033.
You'll never fucking know.
You never know.
We out.
We out.